Greetings everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of SwampFox Magfed. I hope you guys are having a positive and productive day, and you are as excited as I am to jump into another fantastic gear review. Today we are going to be giving you guys my best option for covering a 13 CI tank for under $10. A 13 CI tank is a pretty common size in the Magfed community regardless of what marker platform you're using. And one of the biggest issues that I've found is it is extremely hard to find any sort of tank cover for them. There are a lot of tank cover options for some of the larger size tanks, which is awesome, but for those of us who play Magfed and we run a 13 CI tank, it is extremely hard to find that extra padded protection for the smaller tanks. I've had some custom made products in the past, but unfortunately, due to life or whatever reasons, I either can't find them anymore or the companies are no longer making them, which is kind of a pain. So the solution that I found for us today works out well because we're repurposing paintball stock from years ago, and it is relatively cheap due to the lack of CO2 users in today's paintball market. Without further ado, this is the tank cover that we are going to be checking out today. Now, as you can tell, this is a 13 cubic inch tank. This is the one that I run primarily on my MG100. And you can see I've got a super cool neoprene cover on there that looks like it was made for the tank. Now, this itself is a 9-ounce CO2 tank cover from back in the day. I ended up sourcing and hunting to find the specific camo pattern, but I think I ended up paying like $7.80 off of eBay to get this cool tank cover, and as you can tell, it fits extremely well. There is a little bit of wiggle room, so that way it's not overly tight, but it fits on that tank cover extremely well. Some of the key features that I like is it gives a little bit of that neoprene protection to protect the tank from getting banged up, whether it's in the gear bag or whether you're out on the field. And it also provides just a unique kind of cool pattern depending on what type of tank cover that you're able to find or source. Let's go ahead and jump into the pros that I really appreciate for this. It's that nice neoprene tank cover here, so it gives you a little bit of that padding for your tank, whether you're, like I said, you're transporting it in the bag or you're playing with it out in the field, especially in the woods and things like that. You end up bumping or banging the tank, and that way it just gives you a little bit of extra protection. Another cool thing that I enjoy about this is we're repurposing old gear. So if you used to rock a 9 or a 12-ounce CO2 tank back in the day and you happen to have one of these tank covers laying around the house, throw it on this bad boy because it will absolutely fit, which I think is really cool. In addition to repurposing, we're using old gear that has been overstocked from the last decade of paintball, and so it's really nice that we're not wasting anything and we're able to bring some of that older produced gear into current use in today's Magfed market, which I think is awesome, and we're not letting anything go to waste, which I think is perfect. The solution is already there, and because there is such an abundance of these tank covers, you can find them relatively cheap. This one with the camo pattern I specifically found on eBay, and I think I paid $7.80 for it. There are a few, and they will vary depending on what type of pattern that you want to get, but there are quite a few online paintball distributors that have just the plain black neoprene CO2 tank covers for like $3.80. And so it makes it relatively cheap to get one or multiple just to make sure that your tanks are covered. Another cool thing too is, as you can tell, the 9-ounce CO2 tank was a little bit longer than the 13 CI. So I have a little bit of extra padding here that instead of chopping it off, I just folded underneath. Now, the reason why I did that was I'm planning on getting the 15 CI tank from First Strike. And so from what I have heard, it's going to be a little bit longer. This way, I didn't cut this too short, and then that way it would look funky on the other tank. So I just opted to tuck it and put it underneath, and it just made it a little bit easier, and it gives me a little bit more padding on the cheek weld, regardless of where I'm running this thing. But it's really cool. It's easy. It goes over top. slides, boom. You slide the tank cover over the regulator, and then it just slides down like so. There's no zippers, there's no buttons, so you don't have to worry about any of that wearing out. As long as you don't manhandle the stripping here, you're going to be good to go. I've been using this thing for about a year now, and it still has held up extremely well for the age. Now, the only cons that I found for this, like I said, was it doubled as a pro, but it was a little bit longer, which is fine. So, like I said, you can either opt to slice it off at the end or do what I do and just kind of fold it under. The only reason, like I said, I opted to fold it under was with that 15 CI tank, I didn't want this to be too short and have to source another one because I really appreciate the camo pattern. Additionally, another con is depending on what pattern you want to get, it might be a little bit trickier to find. I know the black and the simple color ones you can find on most of your online paintball distributors, but if you're wanting a camo pattern that's new old stock, you might have to dig a little bit in order to source some of those, but they are out there. I think I looked yesterday on eBay, and they've got some cool tiger stripe ones for under $10. I think Paintball Distributors had a lot of black ones in your basic colors, and they were like $3.95 or $4.95. And so there are plenty of options out there, just depending on how specific you want to get with your patterns will determine how long you need to look. But other than that, I mean, this thing is great. Like I said, it is absolutely fantastic, and it does the deed that we need. So if you are a Magfed player and you've been searching for something to cover your tank, check these things out. Like I said, a 9-ounce CO2 tank cover will work extremely well for your 13 CI tank. I also rock a 26 cubic inch tank, and this fit on there as well. It was a little tight, but it still fit on the tank cover really well. So if you are rocking a bigger tank, you can get away with putting this on there. It will absolutely fit for a 13. It's a little tight for a 26, but if you're rocking something in between, you will be good to go. Let me know what you guys are using too. In the comments down below, let me know if you're rocking a 13 CI tank, what kind of tank cover you're using, if you're using one at all, or if you're one of those people that was able to get a custom one. You know, I'd like to know. So drop some information for me in the comments below and let me know what you're using. And like I said, I hope this video helps you guys out, guys, and that way it can keep your gear protected on a budget. Thank you guys again. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe. It all helps. And we will see you guys on the field.